Hey up, it's Steve from that old Yorkshire Geek, and welcome to episode 153 of Friday Night Appointment with Fear. I nearly said 153 of The Conjuring, because I'm stupid. Of Friday Night Appointment with Fear, and this week we're doing The Conjuring because it's what you chose, as I will demonstrate. There we go. In the poll that I put up, we're going to do something from the Conjuring universe. I gave the option of The Conjuring, Annabelle Creation. We've done the first Annabelle film a while ago. And The Nun. And you overwhelmingly chose The Conjuring out of 44 votes. So that's what we're doing. So there we go. Win Grace is here already saying, I have been conjured, he says, because I summoned him. With him being a pan-dimensional mega being, you can like conjure him, like Cthulhu or something like that. You can, if you know the words that I've got written in my Bookum Demonicum, you can conjure him. And obviously Windgrace has got to put a Star Trek spin on it. The Conjuring. Anyway, so where have I put the book? There it is. So we're doing The Conjuring. There we go. There's my 7-disc box set of The Conjuring universe. It's got all the films in, apart from the new one, and it doesn't have The Nun 2 in it either, unfortunately. Which I think is better than The Nun 1. But anyway, so there we go. Right. But before we start, don't forget to like and subscribe. Where are we? Over there. Like and subscribe, share the video, drop a comment, hit the notification bell if you're subscribed already. We're live on YouTube and Rumble and Twitch. Don't know why I keep doing Twitch. And all that stuff. So you can watch us on there. Become a member of the channel and you'll get early access videos and exclusive videos and exclusive emojis, I think, in the chat. You can join us in the live chat if you've been a subscriber for more than a day. Behave, or you get booted out, or whatever. What else? Is that it? Yeah, I think that's it, isn't it? I've links there for the in the description for the social medias and my books and my other websites and my other channels and all that stuff. Right, so we'll get on with it, shall we? The Conjuring. Some info about said film. It's from 2013, directed by James Wan. I've got to be honest, I thought this were a Blumhouse film. I thought all the Conjuring universe films were Blumhouse films, relatively inexpensive horror films that make a ton of money. But it isn't. This is a studio picture from Warner Brothers and New Line Cinema with a budget of $20 million. But luckily, it made $320 million at the box office or thereabouts, and sparked off, as I said, a universe, a yoinivoice, a conjuring verse, a conjureverse, I don't know what you want to call it, of generally okay films. Some of them I haven't seen. I haven't seen the latest one, and I haven't seen The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, or whatever this is. It's in here. I've got it in here, but I haven't got around to watching it yet. But all the other ones are generally okay. I wasn't a fan. Oh, that's another one that's not in here. Was it Legend of La Llorona? Didn't like that one, but anyway. Where were we? Anyway, so this is the first one, directed by James Wan, written by Chad Hayes and Carey Hayes, who are, I think they're identical twins, because in the behind the scenes on the Blu-ray, it shows them side by side, and they look very alike. But they wrote the bugger. Stars Vera Farmiga, Patrick Wilson, Ron Livingston, and Lily Taylor, and some kids. Music by Joseph Bishara, who also, as he did in Insidious, did James Wan. Joseph Bishara does the music. I think it's not really music; it's more just atmospheric noises, really. He appears in it as the main creature, as Bathsheba in this, briefly, when you do see her. It's a bit long. It's a bit over long, I think. It's like an hour and 50 minutes. Doesn't need to be that long. But based on a true story. But we'll get into that. I'd say more inspired by a true story. That's what you should say in films. You shouldn't say based on a true story. Unless you are really going, for the true story. But you should say inspired by an alleged true story. But anyway, on the case files of Ed and Lorraine Warren, who are a pretty divisive couple in the worlds of, parapsychology and paranormal events, stuff like that. Or as it says, there's a sign. I don't know if we see it in this film or if it were in the behind the scenes. There's a sign somewhere that says paranormalology, which made me laugh. I think it was in the behind the scenes. I think it's a sign up at Ed and Lorraine Warren's house or at their museum or whatever it's called. Paranormalology. Anyway, so, right, we'll get on with it, shall we? I'm not going to watch the film because YouTube had just stopped the stream, so we're going to watch it in a series of stills. I'll try and remember what I've learned from the Blu-ray behind the scenes. There's no commentary, unfortunately, but never mind, on the Blu-ray that I've got. But there's a couple of behind the scenes featurettes, not long either, so it's a bit bare bones, but never mind. And what I know about the true story, which isn't a lot, to be honest. I'm not a huge fan of Ed and Lorraine Warren, to be completely honest, and their shenanigans, shall we say. As I said, they're kind of divisive. Not divisive, they're divisive. Right, so let's get on with it, shall we? I shall pop myself down in the corner and we shall begin. I'm sure I'm going to say something else, and I've forgotten what it was. Can't remember. Why, that was it. The stream could just end all of a sudden because there's a storm outside. Storm Amy is lashing the British Isles at the moment. Wind and rain and wind and all that stuff. But we'll see what happens. Hopefully everything will be okay. We haven't had any flashing lights at all, so we should be okay. Right, so I'll put myself down in the corner. We shall begin. When you get an itch on your top lip. That happened. Is it demons? Come on, get on. There we go. Probably. Is it that one? Yeah. Right, so add it to the stage. Off we go. I'll definitely get a copyright claim for this because it's a Warner Brothers film. So I'll definitely get one. Right, off we go. Right, as it, there we go. Warner Brothers. For some reason, I thought it was, like I say, a Blumhouse flick. But it isn't. Must be Mailer Demons. That's going back, innit? That's going a long way back. Showing your age there, Wingrace. Although you are of an infinite age, obviously. Right, anyway, here we go. Warner Brothers. It reminds me a bit of Harry Potter, these opening Warner Brothers titles. But anyway, off we go. Right, so we're going to get a little bit about Annabelle, who... I'm not even sure why they included Annabelle in this story. The Annabelle doll, she gets her own films, which I enjoy. I've got to be honest, I prefer the Annabelle films to the Conjuring films. I'm not a huge fan of this film, to be completely honest. As I said, I think it's overlong, and I don't think it's that good. It's all right, but I don't think it's that good, to be completely honest. And I don't know why they've got Annabelle in it. Probably so they can do the other films. But anyway, so we get a bit of info about the Annabelle doll. Everybody knows that the real-life Annabelle doll looks nothing like that Annabelle doll that they've made up for the film. And even the behind the scenes, when it shows, they do like a look at Ed and Lorraine Warren's little museum thing that they've got, the place where they keep all their cursed items. In the show that, and even in that, they blurred out the real life Annabelle doll because she looks nothing like that. She's just a Raggedy Ann doll, kind of cute looking, as dolls are supposed to, not terrifying like that. Anyway, Chef Cobson's here saying Conjuring strange feelings. Why is that? I don't know. We'll see what Chef Cobson has to say in the upcoming moments. Anywho, so there it goes. Annabelle case, year 1968. The film is set. Here we go. I thought so. I thought it was too good to last. Here we go. Hang on. Let's bear a minute. There we go. Get rid. There we go. Sorted. Been a while, hasn't it? since we've had an idiot coming on. But anyway, Chef Gobson has buggered off. I'm sure he will be back, or she, or whatever. Probably they, them. In another name, any minute now. We'll get rid of them then. Where were we? 1968. The main part of the film takes place in 1971. This part is from 1968, where they learn about the Annabelle doll, and it's a doll that these nurses came across. And they say it's possessed by a girl called Annabelle Higgins. We'll learn all about it in the Annabelle film. There's the doll. I said, that's some sort of porcelain doll, but the real life Annabelle doll is a cloth Raggedy Ann doll. But anyway, so they went to a medium, and the medium said it's the spirit of a girl called Annabelle Higgins wants to possess this doll. So they said, okay, fair enough. And then the doll starts moving about and doing stuff. They try to get rid of it, but it keeps coming back. And then we're going and does drawings on the walls, apparently, and smashes photos up and all that stuff. So she chucks it out into the bin, but it comes back. There's this pounding on the door. Here we go, another one. Go. That's another one gone. I knew it were too good to last. Just me, just having. You can join in the chat if you subscribe for longer than a day. Anyway, we'll see what happens next. Unbelievable. Nothing better to do with your time, you friggin' idiot. Anyway, where were we? Pounding on the door. The doll's back. They can't get rid of it. So they're calling Ed and Lorraine Warren, and they take the doll away to their museum. Not museum, their place where they keep cursed or otherwise supernaturally involved artifacts. And they tell them that it's not a spirit of a girl, it's a demon that's pretending to be a girl that really wants to get to them rather than the doll. But then we cut to they're in not a studio, an auditorium. I think in a college or somewhere like that. Where they've been giving a talk, and if we look, I don't know if we'll see, the real Lorraine Warren is on the front row somewhere. If it lands on her, I don't know. We will see. But anyway, so here's Vera Farmiga as there's a bloody another one. Just bear with me. I'm going to have to do some faffing about now, aren't I? There we go. Just bear with me while I sort something out. It were only a matter of time, wasn't it? I've got away with it for a few months, haven't I? But they found the way back. They have found their way back. Just bear with me. I'm just doing some adjustments to the chat to shut them up. Right, that should see him off. I hope. We will see. Maybe we will see, won't we? Is that another one? There we go. Right. Hopefully that's sorted it out. Unbelievable. Right. Where were we? There's Vera Farmiga as Lorraine Warren and Patrick Wilson. We may remember from Insidious as Ed Warren. They didn't look much like this in real life, but never mind. It's Hollywood. I'm trying to see if we can land on the real Lorraine Warren on the front row. Is it going to show us? Anyway, we learn that Lorraine Warren she claims to be a psychic medium, and Ed is a demonologist. But anyway, there we go. The Conjuring. It's not showing that, is it? Let's keep going back. Because we do see her on the front row somewhere. See if we can locate her. She's there somewhere. I don't know why it's not showing it. Why is not showing her? Or maybe we're just in the behind the scenes. I'm sure we do get a good look at her at some point. Here we go. Right, I'm going to have to change this again, aren't I? They've obviously been waiting for a while to come in and start their trouble in the chat. Tell you, I'm going to start pre-recording these and not doing them live. But then that would let them win, wouldn't it? So we just got to find other ways around it. That's all. That's all. Right, we'll change that then. Apologies if you've just become a subscriber, but you won't be able to join in the chat now. You know why? Because of these idiots. Right, we'll try that. We'll try that. And see if that helps. Right, where were we? I'm looking for the real Lorraine Warren, because she's here somewhere, and I don't know why it's not showing her. Right. Or maybe it's later on. I don't know. I could have swore she were in here somewhere. I can't see her there. No. Anyway, never mind. Never mind. Right, so here we go. So then they're saying, you know, people call us demonologists or ghost hunters or wackos, which is putting it mildly. But anyway, so there we go. The true story of the Conjuring. The Conjuring house has been in the news a lot lately, hasn't it? It's been up for sale, and there's been one of the recent owners been in trouble or whatever, haven't they? Or been causing controversy. But anyway, right. So here we are at the Conjuring house. Which the one in the film looks nothing like the one in real life. But here they are. It's in Rhode Island, in rural Rhode Island, in the middle of nowhere. I don't know if you can have the middle of nowhere in Rhode Island, because it's not very big, is it? Apparently, it's the smallest state. But here they are. There's Lily Taylor, who you may remember from The Haunting, the remake of The Haunting from 1999. But it is here. See, Windgrace knows the score. Stream Boo would never be this inappropriate in the chat. No, it wouldn't. So here they arrive. I forgot the name of the family now. What do they call the family now? I can't remember. I forgot. Bear with me. The Perron family, that's it. Roger and... is it Karen or Caroline? Caroline. Roger and Caroline. Oh, here we go. Another one must have been... I've changed the thing. They must have been just sat there waiting. Bloody... sat there waiting for months. Unbelievable. Anyway, never mind. I forgot what I was saying now. Yes, I'm definitely bald. I'm thinning. I'm thinning. Never mind. Anywho, where were we? The Perron family. Quite a big family. There's Roger and Caroline, and they've got 5 kids. All daughters, weirdly enough. Of various ages. Anyway, they've just bought this house. Apparently it was Caroline that bought the house in real life. I don't know if they say that in this, but they said in this, I don't know if it's true in the real life, but they said they got it at a bank auction. There's another one there, look. He's wearing a cap to hide his bald spot, says Mighty Judge Fent. This guy's bald. You can say that as much as you want. Say that as much as you want, mate. But I'll admit I am thinning up on top. Anyway, where were we? They bought the house at a bank auction. But anyway. So they're moving in. Apparently, in real life, the people that lived there before hadn't actually moved out when they were moving in. They were kind of... So like, as they were moving out, the others were moving... As they were moving in, the others were moving out. But it doesn't show that here. And also on day one of the girls, I don't know which one, went into a room, saw a man standing there, thought it was just somebody, you know, maybe one of the old owners of the house or whatever. And But it turned out it was probably a ghost that she saw, but she didn't realise it at the time. Unfortunately, they don't show that in the film. They just show them coming in and having a great time, except unless you're the dog. The dog doesn't want to go in. The dog's called Sadie. The dog never enters the house. Anyway. This Mighty Judge Fent in the chat, by the way, he's saying some weird things. I don't know why. And I don't live on... I've never even heard of Norwood Avenue. That might be a reference to something. I have no idea. So anyway, all the kids are basically getting in the way, doing stuff. And we've got exploring the grounds. Apparently it can be like 200 acres or something like that. But and she's found this little one. Don't ask me the names of the kids. I have no idea. She's found like a musical box. So she's playing with that. Now they're playing hide and seek, hide and clap, or something like that they call it. They're playing that where they blindfold somebody, turn them around 10 times, they go and hide, and then they've got to find them. And they clap, they say clap and go like that, and they've got to find them. And if they don't find them within 3 claps, they've lost. Anyway, so they're doing that, and all that stuff. But they do something now. Like she finds one, and they make them jump. But she jumps that hard. She breaks something in that cupboard. So they've broken the wall, and they'll find that they've got a basement, or is it a cellar? I don't know. Is there a difference between a basement or a cellar? I don't know, but they call it a cellar there. They find that they've got one of those. So he goes looking down. Lots of cobwebs and stuff. And an old piano and a bunch of garbage. Lots of stuff, undercloths, etc. So he says, I'll check it out tomorrow. So, right. So they're spending their first night. Sadie's tied up outside. And they say, shut up, dog. But she's like, oh. And so there we go. So they're, happy families. Nothing's happened yet. Anyway, next morning. There we go. Carolyn notices she's got a big bruise on her leg. So she doesn't know where that's come from. Anyway, she thinks nothing of it. The kids say it's cold in their room. But it can't be that cold, because later on in the film, we see them in the room, they're sleeping, not under their covers. So was it just cold on the first night? Maybe. I don't know. There's funky smells as well. Windgrace is educating us now. A cellar is usually meant to store food or drink, i.e. wine cellar or salt. And a basement is like just a big room under the house. See, there you go. There's a funky smell, like something's died, or a farty smell, which is described later on. That comes and goes. She says, the mother says, is it still there? She says, no. I said, well, problem solved then. Anyway, we noticed that the clocks stop at 3:07. There's a bit about this that I don't think it'd be that accurate. Because there's a reason why the clocks stop at 3:07. But anyway. All right. Roger's down in the cellar, basement, whatever. Having a look at stuff, he's put a light bulb in. Pardon me. Now then, in IMDb trivia, it says the 3 notes on the piano. I don't know if it's this bit. Let's have a listen. Does she play it? Must be that. It says that's from the film The Creeping Flesh. And I've seen The Creeping Flesh about 1 million times. We've done it. We're one of my earliest Friday night appointment with fears. I don't remember that. But anyway, we'll take IMDb's word for that. She finds that ball and puts it up on a shelf somewhere, because that's gonna be Chekhov's ball for later on. Right, so we've got to see if we get the furnace working, because the house is cold. And she notices this other clock stopped at 3:07 as well. So she doesn't understand. The little girl wants to go and find Sadie. So she says, go and find her. Maybe she wants feeding. So she goes outside, and then they hear her screaming, because she's going, Sadie. So she's screaming, go round the sea. Sadie's dead. Don't know why, don't know how. She got wrapped in the chain, I don't know. But Sadie has passed away, and I don't know if this happened in real life, in the actual story. I don't know, but I wouldn't have had this straight away, because in these sort of films, things are supposed to start off slowly, aren't they? Not just the first day the dog dies. I'd have the dog give the dog a few more days at least, but straight away the dog's dead of whatever, of unknown means. Anyway, this is Ed and Lorraine Warren's house. He's showing a reporter round the whatever you want to call it. It might have got a museum. It says everything in here is either cursed or has been possessed or has been used in some ritual or whatever. Probably even a toucan. I don't know, but I don't know if it's an exact replica of their museum. I don't know, but anyway. So he's telling them, don't touch anything. And he says we have a priest that comes round once a month to bless the room. In the behind the scenes, they showed a priest who kind of reminded me of, I forgot his name. Him from Red Letter Media, Mike from Red Letter Media. Kind of reminded me of him. But a priest comes round and blesses the room. I don't know if that's still happening. But this priest seemed to believe in him in the behind the scenes. But then in the behind the scenes, everybody was singing the Warren's praises. So anyway. And he says, the fella says, why keep all this stuff here? Why not just incinerate them, destroy them? And he says, sometimes it's best to keep the genie in the bottle. If you burn the vessel, whatever's inside may just be released to cause havoc somewhere else. At least here they know that everything is safe. So that's what he says. And he shows him the Annabelle doll. Maybe Annabelle must be famous already, because he says, "Can I see the Annabelle doll?" He says, "Yes." I thought that was a xenomorph skull there in the background. Are there going to be a Conjuring versus Alien film coming out? He says, "Don't touch it." So, and then he talks about that Lorraine doesn't do the paranormal stuff anymore because something happened to her a few weeks earlier during an exorcism that freaked her out. I think it turned out it was to do with Valak, the nun, that we don't see in this. But according to the Conjuring wiki, she is mentioned in this, but I missed it. I never noticed. So I'm thinking it's something to do with that. Anyway, he finds the daughter. Their daughter, I forgot daughter's name. But anyway, find their daughter lurking. Says, "You're not supposed to be down here." That's her grandma. Her grandma looks after her quite a lot, so takes her upstairs. Anyway, right. So, there's a bit here that's going to be replicated later on. We see Lorraine combing or brushing. I forgot her name. I can't remember the kid's name. Let me check. Judy. She's called Judy. Brushing Judy's hair in this rocking chair. We're going to see this again later on, but in a spooky manner. Winkler says, aliens invading Earth, having to fight against our magic is an idea that hasn't made it to many legit movies yet. Not that I can think of. I bet it has been done in books, though. I bet there are, alien invasion and magic, supernatural stuff going on there. There's got to be, on there. Well, Lovecraft, for one. Anyway, where were we? Right, so, there we go. We're going to see that later. Saying that he thinks the journalist is going to write a nice article about him. We never find out if he does or not. I don't know. But right. Meanwhile, Sadie's grave. Have they just not put it in straight? the cross, or is it tipped over already? I don't know. But it does kind of look cool, doesn't it? Spooky. Not for Sadie, but never mind. The clock's going to stop at 3:07, so she must have started it again and put the clock right, but it's just going to stop again at 3:07. Now, I can't remember the names of the girls. Let me check. One's called April, I know that. I don't know which is which. Andrea Andrea, Nancy, Christine, Cindy, and April. There we go. That's the kids. But don't ask me which is which. I have no idea. But hopefully, maybe it'll tell us in the subtitles which one's speaking. Something keeps tugging on her leg, and she accuses her sister of it. She says, "Stop pulling on my leg," and then obviously her sister's in bed. I didn't do anything. And then she says, "And you farted as well. It stinks." But anyway, so that's things starting small, apart from the dog dying. But anyway, Wingrace says that anime Dan. What that? Oh, never mind. That's popular right now. I've never heard of it. Is about that kinda. It has aliens and supernatural demons invading at the same time, but they don't know about each other. Oh right. I've only watched one episode though. I've never even heard of it. Never even heard of it. Anywho, where were we? Right. Roger's fallen asleep. There he is at his desk, boozing by the looks of it. Left the telly on, poltergeist style. So he wakes up and off he goes. I think, does he hear something or see something? Yeah, I think he hears something. So he goes to check it out. There were doors opening by themselves, etc. Window open. And there was a daughter there. I think, one of the daughters has said, one of your other daughters, I can't remember the names, is sleepwalking. There we go. I've never seen her do this before. She's banging her head against this wardrobe door. Not hard, just gently. Does it say which one it is? Is it April or is it one of the others? Go on, tell us. Cindy. Cindy's the sleepwalker. Right. So they get her back to bed. Off they go. And then next morning, she's got more bruises. As there we go, she's looking. As Caroline. It's going to show it. Got one on the back this time. And on her arm. There's one on the back there. Look, she's got one on her arm as well. She doesn't know what's causing them. She does go to the doctor off screen, and they say it's something, an iron deficiency or something. We do see her taking some tablets. I don't know if it's for that. I don't know, but anyway, all right. He's going to work. Roger is a long distance truck driver, so he's going to work. He goes away for like days at a time, and then comes back. So he's just setting off now, and then he hears a bang. And we see that a pigeon has hit the side of the house or hit a window or something, and passes away. And he probably thinks, poor pigeon, and goes. The girls are off to school. Well, 4 of them are. One of them's still at home. There she is, the youngest one. Don't ask me her name. We see she's talking to somebody. It's very Amityville Horror, by the way. I was reminded of that Jodie from Amityville Horror. There's a scene very like this, although I don't think there's a rocking chair in the room here. But this one's not called Jodie, he's called Rory. She says he's a little boy that something bad happened to him. And says you can see him if you look in this dirty old musical box that she's found in the house. Because that was his. So she's going to have a look, and this is where we get probably his first jump scare, maybe. I don't know, first big jump scare. You think she's going to see something in the mirror, but the kid just jumps and says, "Boo! Ah, scared you." A fake jump scare. Anyway, so she says, "Will you play hide and clap or whatever they call it?" So he says, "I don't want to." "Go on, nobody ever lets me join in." So she says, "Okay," and this is where we get us first good creepy scare of it. So obviously goes and hides as the young'un, and so Caroline's looking for her. Anyway, so she hears the clapping coming from the wardrobe, so she thinks she's in there. So the wardrobe doors swing open by themselves, and she says, "Oh, this is on the 3rd clap now." She says, "Okay, clap again," and then we see hands coming from the wardrobe. There we go. You can see them there. Look, hands from the wardrobe there. Clap, clap. So she goes, "I know where you are." So she goes looking. But anyway, she can't find anything, obviously. April, this is April, is the youngest. She comes in and said, "You didn't find me. I win. I was somewhere else." He says, "Hang on. You were in the wardrobe." There we go. Confused looking. Obviously, CND supporters, the Campaign for Nuclear Disarmament, all the way back in 1971. It's just a peace symbol, wasn't it, back then, I think. Anyway, so she's confused. She don't know what's happened there. Anyway, he's back home. He's got another job. He's got to take. It's a week-long one this time. He's going to Florida, so he's going to be away for a week. So anyway, so they're in the house all by themselves with no Roger, and this is where she gets pulled properly. There's whichever one it is. So we've got another one. Nancy's the other one that's in the same room as her, but she's going to get pulled properly in a minute. Here we go. He's going to show it. There we go. There we go. There we go. So she thinks, no, what's going on? And then the bedroom door slowly swings open in a minute. She looks under the bed. I'd just get under the covers and just hide. And I think it's where she sees something behind the bedroom door, and I didn't see it. I don't know if you can see it. We're looking upside down here. Does she see something? I'm not sure. The door moves a little bit, or is it just that she's seen? So anyway, she can see something behind the bedroom door. I can't see anything. I don't know if I adjust the brightness, I don't know if there is anything there. But she calls out to her sister, and this really hit home for me because she's like, it's stuck in her throat a bit. She says, I forgot her name already. Is it Nancy? She's like, Nancy. She can't say it properly. And that happened to me when I was a kid. When I saw a ghost as a kid. When I saw the hooded ghost. I'm getting chills now. When I saw the hooded ghost behind my bedroom door, I tried to call out to me mam, and that wouldn't come out, so I hid under the covers. True story, honest. Anyway, so she calls out to her, and she can see something behind the door. She says, can't you see there's somebody behind the door? There we go. And obviously Nancy's super brave. She goes to check. The smell comes back. Says there's nothing there. But then I think the door slams shut. And so they all scream. There we go, the door slams shut and screaming. So he goes running in. She's like, there was someone there. And obviously, I don't think Nancy saw anything, but she could smell the funky smell. So they know something's going on. Anyway, meanwhile, back at the Warrens' house, he says, I'm going shopping. And she says, 15 years, have you ever been able to lie to me? He said, okay, I've got to go and see Father What's-His-Face. He's got a case that might be interested in. And I didn't want you to come because of what happened at that exorcism, and all that stuff. Anyway, so he said, I'm coming with you because we're a team. So they go to this other house, and they're in the attic, and it turns out they're not haunted. It's creaky floorboards or pipes or whatever. They debunk the haunting. They say your house isn't haunted. So fair enough. So this is an example of Ed and Lorraine Warren debunking things. Did they ever debunk things in real life? I've never seen it. We're all demons as far as they were concerned. It seems, but in this film they're showing them as proper researchers that debunk things. Anyway, look, she's got another bruise. We see her, she's taking some tablets. Hang on, does it show it? I don't know what they are. Let's have a look. Let's go back again. It does show what they are. There we go. Oh, yes, iron deficiency. Take 2 a day for iron deficiency. Iron polysaccharides or whatever. There we go. Harrisville, Rhode Island. There you go. Not a jump scare. Obviously, in mirrors, there's always jump scares in mirrors, but no, there ain't in this time. But they are making you think there's going to be one because there's this empty space there, isn't there? So they're making you think there's somebody going to be there, but there isn't. There isn't. Or is there? Let's have a look. No, there ain't. Mirrors are creepy. Mirrors creep me out. I hate them. Reflections of any sort creep me out. I hate going in the kitchen at night because the kitchen window, I've got curtains up, but I never pull the curtains closed. We used to have a blind, but it fell off. Pardon me. So the kitchen window is just a big black, at night, it's just a big black screen, but you see your own reflection in it, and I'm always frightened. I'm going to see something behind me, or somebody's going to come up to the the window at night. I'm a right big scaredy cat, I am. My own imagination gets the better of me. Anyway, she hears noises. Now we go, girls, it's way past your bedtime. She goes to check it out. All the girls are asleep. And she ends up down in the... yes, that's it, yes. Suddenly, super loud noise. I don't think anybody wakes up. But super loud. All the pictures that are up the stairs have fallen off and gone down the stairs and smashed. And you hear like a laugh, like a child's laugh. So is it Rory? Don't know. But you hear a child's laugh as she goes to investigate. And she's looking round. And I could have sworn, unless I'm thinking of Insidious or one of the others. I think Insidious 2. I thought there was somebody in the room, but I think that might be Insidious 2 I'm thinking of. Yeah, I think it is. But if it were me, if I were James Wan, I'd have had loads of figures in the background. With little, shadowy people stood in the corner or stuff like that. But he refrains from it. Anyway, she ends up down in checking out the cellar. So she goes down and I think she calls out because I think she can hear noises. So she calls out, says, I'm locking you down here. There you go. Whoever's down there, I'm locking you in now. But there we go. Before she can do anything, the door slams shut on her and she falls down the stairs. And I'm like, bloody hell. Somebody's dead, isn't it? After that fall. But, she's fine. There's more bruises to add, isn't it? This is where the ball comes rolling back out from. She put it up on a shelf and it comes bouncing back out any minute now, he says. There it is. There we go. So she's like, a ball's moved by itself. Let me out of here. And the light went off. As she goes back out, the light blows up. And earlier on, Roger had put a big box of matches at the top of the stairs. So she's found them and she's lighting the matches. And then as she's there we go. We hear somebody say, "Hey, want to play hide and clap?" And then spooky, ghostly hands appear behind her. And so she's screaming, let me out. She can't get out. The door won't open. They're all asleep. They hear a noise. Cindy's there banging her head against the wardrobe again. So she takes her back. But then, I think something else is going to happen in a minute. Cindy sits back up in bed. And I think she's looking in. And then Cindy points. There we go. She points up at the top of the wardrobe. This is where we get his first look at Bathsheba. I forgot her last name. Pete's sake. And as I was watching this today, my son called from down upstairs. Stephen, he never calls me Dad. This has been that super serious. Stephen, come hither. So I just paused it and just happened to pause it. Hang on, where are we? Right on that. I thought, so that's his first look at. She's supposed to be a witch, Bathsheba. I forgot her name. I've got a page here that tells us. Bathsheba Sherman. It was a real person that lived in that house in the early 1800s. Who were accused of witchcraft and stuff like that. Accused of, killing a child, but she was never found guilty. There's no evidence that she did any of this stuff, but it fell into local folklore, and in this film we're told that she took her own life at 3:07. I don't know how they're so accurate back in early 1800s, at a youngish age, but in real life she lived to like a decent age. But anyway, there we go. So scary. And she leaps down. Oh, for Pete's sake. There we go. She leaps down onto whatever that one's called. But luckily, Roger's just arriving home in his big rig. Hears the screaming from inside. Goes running in. He gets Caroline out of the basement. They all go running upstairs. Andrea's that one. See if I can remember them. Cindy and Andrea in that room. Nancy and another one in the other room, and can't can't remember the name of the youngest one already. I've forgotten. Anyway, so they're all like, there were a scary woman and all that stuff. So they said, we've got to do something about this. Right, so there we go. Massachusetts Western University in Wakefield. What? Just up the road from me. Wakefield's a city in West Yorkshire that I used to live in many, many years ago. Don't anymore. I think it's a different one. This might be the one where we see the real Lorraine Warren, because they're back doing another talk. So it's about the possession. I think this is the exorcism that freaked out Lorraine. She saw something. I'm going to see the real Lorraine Warren any minute. But what was this? Anyway, there we go. He's bleeding from his eyes. But Lorraine saw something, and I think it was supposed to be that nun, the nun. But anyway, upside down cross started to appear from within his body. So it's gone all, Regan McNeil. Didn't say help me though, did it? Anyway, so there we go. So they're all asking questions. Did you perform the exorcism? I'm trying to see if we get a look at this front row. But we learned that the fella took his own life. He shot his wife, didn't kill her though. He shot her in the arm and took his own life because he was troubled. There she is. There's the real Lorraine Warren. I think she passed away. Did she pass away between this and the second film? I can't remember how old she was when she passed away. Just bear with me. Ed and Lorraine Warren. Let's see. Lorraine. She died in 2019. We've got the age of 92. Ed Warren passed away in 2006, by the way. And I'm sure, the Warren estate did quite well out of this series of films. Anyway, but there she is, the real life Lorraine Warren. She's no Vera Farmiga, is she? Let's just putting it mildly. So it's telling them all about what happens. It's in 3 stages: infestation, oppression, possession. Anyway, she's watching his Carolyn. That's how she's found them. She must have looked it up in the paper. There's a talk on parapsychology or possession or whatever at the university, so she's gone to check it out. So she comes up to them and asks them to help. And her daughters are terrified and all that. Please help us, begging them. So they say, okay. So off they go to check it out. Are they all sleeping downstairs now? Because it's like Poltergeist. Anyway, they're here. So they're going to check out the house. And, excuse me. Oh, there we go. Get a line up. Andrea's the oldest. There we go. This in order. Nancy, Cindy, Christine. Oh, so it's Christine and No, it's April. I can't bloody remember. And April. April's the youngest, isn't she? I think. I've forgotten already. Anyway, so they're going to check out the house and check it for smells or spooky stuff happening. But Lorraine's already picking up on stuff. They're talking about the knocks, and he's saying, do the knocks come in 3s? And he says, yes. So, demons. Demons always knock in 3s. Because they say, it's mocking the Holy Trinity. What if they're knocked like shaving a haircut? Anyway. What's this? Getting birds flying against the side of the house. Is where they mentioned. The clocks all stop at 3:07, and they put them right, but they just stop again. And the pictures just keep getting knocked off the walls, etc. So she's having a look around there. Something awful happened here, Ed, she says. So now they're drinking coffee. And he's doing an interview with them now. He's recording it. So he says, I'm Ed Warren. I'm here talking to Roger and Carolyn Perrin, who've got spooky stuff happening in their house. Tell us what's going on. So she starts talking. But we don't listen to them really. Saying it started with the clocks. Then we cut to Lorraine talking to April, whatever, telling her about Rory. So she says, can I see him? And she does see him, but not, not in a scary way. He don't like jump out. It's not one of them. She sees his reflection. There we go. As it's going round, she sees his reflection. There he is, through the door. So, like I said, little Lord Fauntleroy type kid. There he is. Anywho, by the way, this house was built. I think it was filmed. I forgot where it was filmed. Where was it filmed? Bear with me. In North Carolina. That's where it was filmed. But I think they built this house specially for the film. I think it's basically just a facade, and the inside of the house is a studio, filmed in a studio. I do believe, as I said, it looks nothing like the real Perron house, which I think is basically a single-story, like farmhouse. I think it does like attic rooms, but and the rest of it's on a single story, I think. Oh, pardon me, baby. Looks nothing like that. Right, so going to check out the I'd love to live here. I'd love to have like a lake of my own that I could just go fishing on. Yeah, it'd be cool, wouldn't it? Did they ever use that canoe, I wonder? I don't know. Anyway, so she's having a think, and there we go. She looks round and she sees somebody hanging behind Ed. He don't see it. We know it's somebody hanging and not just somebody hanging from, because we can hear the creak of the rope, swinging. I think that's supposed to be Bathsheba, by the way. I'm not showing it now. Why are you not landing on it? There we go. I think that's supposed to be Bathsheba, because they keep saying she hung herself. And every time I watched it, going, hanged. But repeatedly, they say it loads of times, hung. So, who wrote it? Who did I say wrote it? Chad Hayes and Carey Hayes don't know the difference between hung and hanged. Bloody idiots. Anywho, right, so they've got to work out what to do. But I think they said to him, said to Roger and Carolyn, that the house needs an exorcism, but they've got to get proof, and they've got to take it to the church, and they've got to get permission, authorization to perform an exorcism. But they need proof first, so they'll bring a team in, and they'll have cameras and all this stuff to get the evidence that they need. I said that's going to be the hard part. Anyway, then she's telling them what she's felt. Maybe she saw that. Saw it when I first came through your door. She says there's an evil entity that's latched onto your family, and even if they move out, it'd follow them. But that's separate to the other. Like Rory is something else. Like Rory's a spirit that's there, but there's an evil entity that's latched onto him, which presuming is Bathsheba. We're getting view what she sees. She sees it behind the girls. There you can see like a shadow behind them, and she did see it somewhere else as well. Where is it? There we go. She sees it there. Look, the shadow behind them, all spooky. But obviously nobody else can see it. So saying you shouldn't really move, but they said we can't move anyway because all our money's in this house, like Amityville. Anyway, so they're gonna. They ask, have your children been baptised? They said, well, no, we've never got round to it. Plus, we're not really a church-going family, so apparently that's going to make it more difficult for them to get authorization from the church. But anyway, so they're going to go and get a team together, but they go home first to go see Judy, and we learn that Judy's got her mum a present because her and her grandma went to a yard sale or whatever, and she bought matching lockets which look really old, and I'm thinking I bet they're haunted, but I don't know if they're in any of the other films, but they are used again in this film. So they've got matching lockets, so she gives one to her mum with a picture of her in it, and she's got one with a picture of her mum and dad in it. with Ed and Lorraine. I miss you and Daddy, 'cause you're always buggering off, helping people, leaving me with me grandma. Anyway, so she's got this lovely locket that's probably possessed by a demon. Anyway, it says, there's Ed, it says, Carolyn's voice didn't record when he did the interview with her. So he plays it back, and says, I'm sitting here, we hear his voice saying, I'm sitting here with Carolyn Perron and her husband Roger, blah, 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 and we don't hear Carolyn's voice. It says it's just not there on the recording. He doesn't understand how. So we're going to get a potted history lesson here about the house built in 1863. I think the actual house was built in the 1700s, early 1700s, I think. I'm sure I've seen that somewhere. Before the revolution. But anyway, according to this, it was built in 1863 by Jedson Sherman, who married Bathsheba, and then she were accused of, it said she were accused. It said she killed her baby at 7 days old in a sacrifice. And she went and hung herself. There we go. And hung herself. And I'm going, hanged. But anyway. And then other people that lived in the house that moved in, weird things happened. But that's obviously Rory, isn't it? Because we saw him earlier. And we do see the spirits of these other people. We see her later on. We keep hearing the other spirits saying, she made me do it. So is that a reference to the other film, The Devil Made Me Do It, or whatever? I don't know. But in this, Bathsheba's making them hurt their children. But then was killed herself in the cellar, did that one. But I've got another boy drowned in the pond. Woman who worked as a maid ended herself. You've got to be careful what you say on YouTube, haven't you? Anyway, alright, and then just suddenly the tape recorder starts playing by itself. There we go, just comes on by itself. Because I'm sitting here with Carolyn Perron, but then we see a creepy wailing noise or whatever, where Carolyn was supposed to be speaking, like, thusly. Any minute. So I'd shit myself, pretty much. But that's unusual. Anyway, of course the clock stopped at 3:07. So they're heading back in. Oh, was that their clock at their house? I think it was their clock, wasn't it? Their house stopped at 3:07. Because I think earlier on, actually, yes, I'd said, let's go back, about Bathsheba. There we go. Time of death was pronounced at 3:07 in the morning. Do you think they'd be that accurate? Even today, would they be that accurate? But especially in, the 1800s. They just say, she died about 3 o'clock in the morning, wouldn't they? They wouldn't say 3:07, would they? I don't know. I am not a coroner or whatever. Anyway, that's why the clocks are stopping at 3:07, because that's the time that Bathsheba died. Anyway, which is the witching hour, isn't it? 3 in the morning. Right, so and their clock stopped at 3:07 and 1 second. Right, so they're heading in, the team's coming in. We've got Ed and Lorraine, and we've got another fella whose name I can't remember. Brad? No, it's not Brad. Drew. Brad's a policeman that's going to pop up in a minute. So, here they are. Right. That's Brad. Who's a policeman? Officer Brad Hamilton. I don't know why he got. Is it a friend? I'm not sure why he's there. Is he interested in the paranormal? Because he's obviously not there in an official capacity. I've no idea. But there's Drew sailing him. You can't shoot ghosts, right? Because he's the wise-cracking techie kid who does all the equipment. Anyway. He's the... let's go back again. It reminds me of... I forgot his name now. The fellow that were in Big Trouble in Little China. He was really the star of Big Trouble in Little China. Is it Dennis Dunn? Doesn't sound right. It might be. I will check. And they were in John Carpenter's Prince of Darkness as well. Just let me check. Dennis Dunn. Yes, it is Dennis Dunn, American stage actor. Yes, he was in Big Trouble in Little China and Prince of Darkness, and loads of other stuff as well. Asian American actor. It kind of reminds me of him. A likeable chap. So they were going to setting all the equipment up. There we go, with cameras and things, and they're set to automatically go off, when temperature drops or something passes in front of them or whatever. Anyway, there we go. Thermostat triggers the camera to take a picture. Anyway, so they're setting it all up. I don't know if they get a picture from there, but anyway. Yes, it's looking at a photo they've got of the family that looks super fake. Just stood in front of a sky backdrop, but it's she does a bit of, I forgot what they call it now. I can never remember the word. We can touch an object and you get a psychic feeling about it. What do they call it now? That, anyway. So she has a little image of them running about and having fun on the beach, and she said, "Oh, how did you know that?" She says, "You had a great day on the beach." And there you go. Says, it's an insight, a peek into other people's lives. And I said, "Okay, I'm not handing you anything else then." That's what I'd have said. But there we go. Then we get a little flashback of them having fun on the beach, and there we go, the photo. I'm guessing it's an automatic camera, a timer or whatever. And then we see the photo that looks super fake. Look, doesn't it? It's like it's just been cut out. It's on a green screen. They didn't really go to the beach. They went to the mall. One of them. Right. And what was that? Is that Drew? Yes, Drew's showing her their UV light thing that they can see. Show things that the naked eye can't see, which they'll get to use in a bit. A door comes open. It turns out it's just Brad's been for a pee or a poo. I don't know, but been to the toilet. Right, so they're all waiting for stuff to happen now. Ed's got some holy water and stuff like that he's going to put around. He's putting, crucifixes around the house and all that. It says, it pisses off demons if you put this stuff around. So, anyway, there they are, checking out the cellar. Not sure anything happens. Checking out the old Joanna. Anyway. So, they talk about, I think, is this where they talk about a draft? You look a little freaked out when that door slams shut. Excuse me. And then it mentions a draft, I think, or something. There we go. Must have been a draft. And we come back to that at the end of the film. We come back to that. Nothing happened that first night, it seemed. So, pancakes, because it's American. You've always got to have pancakes for breakfast for some reason. I had a bowl of bran flakes. That's what I had for my breakfast. Sometimes I have porridge. Sometimes I have bacon and egg, which is nice. Anyway. Yes. Carolyn's really tired, so they basically send her off to bed, and the Warrens say, "We'll look after the kids." So he says, "Okay, I'll go to bed." And Brad's got to go to work because he's working. Lorraine's been doing the washing, and we're going to get a set piece in a minute. But here we go. The wind picks up. It picks up. There's the wind. There we go. Woo. And one of the sheets blows off the line. Is it going to be this one? There we go. Oh, I've got to go. There we go. The leaves are going. See, I've gone too far. Bloody thing. One of the sheets. There we go. It comes off the line and form. There we go. As though somebody's standing there. Quite a good effect. It's probably CG. But it does that for a second and then blows up. Covers up that bedroom window, which I think is Carolyn and Roger's bedroom window, I think. The master bedroom or whatever. But it covers it up. But then when it blows away, there's somebody standing in the window. Is it Carolyn? Don't know. But they walk away as we're watching. So she goes running up. And then handprint appears on Carolyn's arm because she's asleep in bed. with different coloured clothes to what we saw in the window. So it was obviously a ghost or whatever we saw in the window. But then now she's got a handprint or fingers. And then she suddenly sits up and goes, ah, screaming and coughing and all that. And she locks herself in the bathroom. And then she does the thing that always happens in these films. There we go. She says, "Are you all right?" She says, "Oh yeah, I'm fine. I'm just feeling nauseous." And then she says, "Oh no, I'm okay." You know, fobs her off. Well, me. Instead of saying, "Oh, this weird thing happened." But we all know what happened in real life. Anyway, Ed's decided he's going to fix Roger's old Chevy for him. That's what he said. "Hope you don't mind." He said, "No, help yourself." Now he's going to do a bit more exposition. A lot of exposition in this film. That's why it's too long. Could have shaved like 20 minutes off it. We got rid of all the exposition. But he's going to tell them all about him and Lorraine and how it takes a toll on her. He didn't want to come because of when they do these cases. It takes a toll on Lorraine. She just wants to help people because she's of her mediumistic powers. Each time they do one of these things, it takes a bit away from her. And she had a bad experience a few weeks ago with that possession, that exorcism. And she saw something, but it doesn't say what he was saying here. Look, this fella that were possessed. And she freaks out. She saw something. They don't tell us what. It doesn't say she saw a nun or anything. I don't think it did anywhere in this film. But anyway, all right. When they got home, she locked herself away in the bedroom for 8 days and didn't eat or talk. Didn't talk for 8 days. You'd be dead anyway. But she says, so I don't want to lose her. So I didn't want her to come, but she did. Anyway, so night 2, getting ready. Brad hears something outside. I think he hears somebody say, "She made me do it." So he goes to check it out through the window, but there's nobody there. Here we go. But then when he comes back in, he looks in this room. A figure like a maid or whatever. And she made me do it. And we look and we see that she's opened herself up. And she just walks off. And he goes, "Hello, who are you?" And then she just appears. "Look what she made me do." So he freaks out, falls over. And they all come running in, and he explains that saw somebody. But then we see somebody else. Hang on. Somebody walks past. I think it's one of the girls. There we go. One of the girls walks past in the background. Go up the stairs she goes. Let's just follow her, see what happens. There's somebody with her. She goes into that room. And she's disappeared. They don't know where she's gone. They go saying, "There's somebody else in there with her," he says. "Does Drew?" So they go in, they break the door down. And she's not there. So they're checking the wardrobe. Yes. Oh, it gets the UV light. I forgot about that. Gets the UV light. We see her footprints. Going up to the wardrobe, and we see that I'm guessing the wardrobe, is it fastened to the wall? It must be. I don't know. But it pulls a panel aside, and we see that there's a hole. There we go in the wall, and she's in there. Is the kid, whichever one it is? I don't know. So she's in there. So they take her away, and the young one, April, I can't remember, who is a weird-looking kid. She doesn't look like a kid. Does she? She's like a small adult. She's got a weird adult face. I don't know. Anyway, so that's where Rory hides when he's afraid. So she goes in, does Lorraine to check it out, and we see that there's a space. There we go. He's got his toys and stuff, and there's a. There we go. There's a space there. It's just the right shape for that musical box thing. So she asks for it. But then she steps back. She's pulling on a rope. She finds a rope and pulls on it, and it's a noose. And then she stumbles back or whatever and falls. I think is it this one? Yes. She It's just realised what it is. Oh, it's a noose. And then the floor gives way beneath her, and she falls like a mile and a half. There we go. I'm guessing to the cellar. But she's fine, because people can fall in this film and they're fine. There she is. She's down in the cellar. Oh, she's got a little cut on her head. I don't know how that's happened, but I know she's falling, but you know what I mean. She's had more than that. That's what I'm trying to say. No, she just did that go with her? Did she keep hold of that all the way down? She must have done. She's still got it, and it's still working. It's not being smashed to smithereens. So she thinks, I will look through this. So she opens it up and turns the key, and the music starts playing. And then she sees, there we go. We see there's young Rory, who's with a knife in him or whatever, and his mother, who turns around in a spooky way. And then she looks around, nobody there, and then she looks back. When she looks back, there she's there, saying, she made me do it. There we go. And then she disappears. But then she gets attacked by floating legs. There we go. I'm guessing is this supposed to be Bathsheba? I think it is, isn't it? Floating about in the cellar. But they're trying to find her. Why don't they just go down to the cellar? Obviously, she's there, isn't it? It's not in the walls. It's not the people under the stairs, is it? Or that other film? Robert, that film. Robert the doll or whatever, where it ended up. Spoilers, being a fella living in the walls. Anyway. Yes, the whatever Bathsheba or whatever grabs hold of the pendant, that Judy gave her. There it is. Look, must have a strong chain on it. Anyway, eventually it comes off, and she runs up the stairs, and she gets out. And what's happened there? Oh, the crosses and stuff start falling off the shelves, and then one of the kids gets picked up and dragged by the hair across the room. In the not great wire effect. Obviously, they deleted the wire, but she gets thrown across the room or pulled across the room. Then when they're pulling her, whatever it is pulling her across the room by her hair, and the only way they can stop it is Lorraine just picks up a massive pair of scissors and just cuts her hair off. There we go. And just cuts her hair off, and that sorts it out. There we go. Snip. She's saved because obviously ghosts don't like short hair, so I'm doomed, aren't I? Unless you're one of the other people and think I'm bald. Anyway, Drew's filmed it all. Is there actual footage of this then? I don't know. I've never seen if there's actual footage of the Perron haunting. I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is out there somewhere. But I don't know. Right, so they've got it. They've got all their proof, what they need now to go to the church and say you can have an exorcism and all that. But I think the family's going to go and stay in a motel for a while. And Drew's going to stay with them. Right, so... but in the meantime, she's gone down to the lake again. And she hears Judy's voice say, Mummy! And Judy, she sees Judy in the water, which is kind of spooky. I did actually like this bit. Spooky effect, isn't it? She's Judy under the water there. She's like, oh, Judy. And she's obviously not really there. So she thinks something's up, so she rushes back to the house and phones home and says, Mum, check on Judy, is she okay? It turns out she's fine. So she's like, I saw Judy out in the lake. Something's wrong. So they're going to go back home. Well, they're going to go and sort out an exorcism, aren't they? But the Perron family are going to stop in this motel for a bit. By the way, I've never... there's a YouTube channel. There's Grim Life Collective, and there's... I forgot his name now. Sean. He does horrors... I forgot what they call it now. Horrors... something halls. I can't remember what they call it. Just bear with me. What am I doing? I don't know. What they call him? Anyway, he does, locations for films, and I've never seen if he's done one for The Conjuring. I'm sure he has. Are they in alphabetical order? What's his name now? Is it Sean Clark? That rings a bell. Yes, it is Sean Clark. Sean Clark. I say he does good videos on, locations for horror films. Has he done? Hang on, let's search it. Has he done The Conjuring? Let's have a look. Search his channel. He must have done. He must have done. No, he hasn't, according to this. Have I spelled Conjuring right? Yes, I have. Search his channel for Conjuring. Nothing. Well, nothing to do with this film's other stuff, but nothing to do with The Conjuring. Maybe he doesn't like The Conjuring. I don't know. You'd have thought he'd have done one, wouldn't you? With all these locations in this film. But anyway, never mind. Anyway, they've got to stop this. 'Cause it looks like a real motel, doesn't it? Anyway, so they've gone to a motel. Meanwhile, Ed and Lorraine have gone to see this priest. There we go. They show him the evidence, and he says, "Oh yes, it's very convincing, but it's complicated because the kids aren't baptised, and the church are sticklers for that kind of thing." But he says, "Come on," and he says, "And I'll have to get permission straight from the Vatican." I thought, crikey. But he says he'll do what he can, and I'll vouch for it all myself. So I will make it happen. Oh, I'm looking at some of the photos that they've taken. Are these actual photos? Don't know. Spooky hand on one of the kids there. There we go. There's Rory behind. Oh, it's obviously not the real photos. Rory behind. Another one. And then the others. No, that's it. So he says, "Right, I will sort it out for you." Say, "Okay, thanks." Right, so they go home now. Or do they go home? I don't know. But no, they haven't got home yet. Because maybe they're on the way home. Because Judy and Grandma are alone in the house. And Judy gets grabbed by the foot. Much as the other kid did, whose name I've forgotten. Cindy? I don't know. And Adam Gamer's here. Yay! Hello, Adam Gamer. Go and subscribe to Adam Gamer's channel. He does a lot of cool gaming streams. Anyway, she gets up and she goes looking for her mum and dad who aren't in, but she sees that the door's open to the Annabelle room. So she goes down, and but she doesn't go in, look. And then she hears a noise upstairs, and she goes into another room. Have I missed it? Oh, pardon me. I think she hears something banging on the door. I think that scares her. And she goes into this room, and she turns round, and in a minute. There we go. She turns round, the light goes out, and she sees a repeat of what she saw earlier on. Well, not what she saw. What we saw earlier on when her mother, when Lorraine was combing her hair, we see, presumably supposed to be Bathsheba, sitting with Annabelle, but it's Annabelle that turns round to look at us spookily. Ah! So she freaks out, obviously, and Grandmother comes in to save the day. But they're home now. They notice that the doors are open. So Judy's freaking out, saying, "I saw Annabelle, she was sitting in that rocking chair." And he goes to check, and Annabelle's still locked up. So I wonder what's going on. Right, so what's happening now? Yes, Drew and Roger had gone out. I don't know where they'd gone. Shopping? To the pub? I don't know. But they come back, and we learn that Carolyn has taken two of the girls. I don't know which two, I've forgotten. Christine and April. She's taken Christine and April and buggered off in the car. Obviously gone back to the house. So they phone up Ed and Lorraine and tell them, and that smell of rotten meat's come back as well. And so they know that Bathsheba's possessing Carolyn, and she's gone back to the house. So they're gonna head there as well. And he says, "You're not coming with me, you stay." He says, "No, I've got to see it through." Whatever. So they're heading to the house. This is Brad in his police car. Remember, he's a policeman. Right, so they bust the door down and they find that she's about to sacrifice one of the kids. Christy, I don't know. Yeah, it must be Christy. About to sacrifice her. They don't know where April is, but they stop her, obviously. They go, "Where's April?" But they try and get her out, but as they cross over the threshold, she starts burning up, literally. There we go. She won't let her leave the house. If we try and take her out, she'll kill her. Ah! And then she flies backwards like that. All right, she gets dragged down into the cellar, and we see that April's down there. And Carolyn attacks everybody. She's got superhuman strength now, but luckily she must be like a canary or something. Stick a blanket over her, they can overpower her. They tie her up. So, find something to tie her up, and she does instantly. That's a good bit of rope that's there. I don't know, it's not just rotten, I don't know. But anyway, they tie her up, and he's got to perform the exorcism because the priest isn't there. So they've got to deal with it. So they're checking the rest of the house. So he's getting on with it. Don't really know what he's doing, but he's giving it a go. Everybody's scared. They put Christine out in the car. He's waiting in the car. The bottle of pop and a bag of crisps. Has she gone back in? Oh, that's Drew, isn't it? What happens to Drew? Oh, yes, birds. Birds are coming around the house now and smashing into the windows and stuff like that. Hey, just like Hitchcock. Anyway, so as they start the exorcism, she starts coughing out blood or spewing blood underneath the sheet because it just looks scary. I'm guessing none of this happened in the real case. I think the Perron haunting happened over like a 10-year period, didn't it? I think, something like that. It happened over a long time, didn't it? The family lived in the house for like 10 years, didn't they, thereabouts? And I think the events happened over, the length of time that they lived in the house, not in this short time that the film's compressed into. And I don't think this happened, the exorcism and all that. I don't know, I could be wrong. Why is he smashing into the floor? I don't know. Because he looked, he's possessed. Why is he smashing into the floor? I can't remember. I can't remember. Anyway. So she's making stuff fly about, supernatural ways, and she's going to start floating up now. She's going to leave the ground. Look, here she goes. Go on, off you go. There she goes. Ooh, spooky. She's floating. They're all like, what are we going to do? And she even turns her upside down, look. And says, put her down. And I think she's going to drop her on her head and kill her, isn't she? Luckily, she doesn't. Luckily, she drops down and turns, thankfully. Anyway. So she's going to attack. She's going to. Oh, she got him already. Earlier on, she attacked Brad. She'd bit his cheek. Anyway, so it carries on. There we go. Big on demon. Oh, that's I don't bloody know. But see, look, she's possessed now. She's gone all Linda Blair. She's already gone. I don't know. Did she say it like that? Probably not. Let's have a listen. Let's have a listen.
She's already gone.
A little bit like that, ain't it? Should have used. I know Bathsheba Sherman is. They say it's a demonic spirit, but Bathsheba Sherman a real person. Has she become a demon for the sake of this film? I don't know. Much like in Supernatural, where Crowley, a lot of demons in the Supernatural series started off as humans, didn't they? And became demons, didn't they? Once they went to hell. I don't know, but anyway. Anywho, his gun goes off because he'd propped his gun up in the corner and had Brad, his shotgun, and that's going to shoot at him. There we go. Luckily, it didn't get any of them. We're looking for April. Remember, we didn't know where April was. And Drew's found her. She's under the house, under the kitchen. So they found April. So she's going to get April now. Maybe she's like a crawl space or something. and they can't reach her, but she reaches her. There's there we go. There's Bathsheba, but then Lorraine, Yes, Lorraine grabs Caroline's head and says, "You're stronger than this. Fight her. Take my power," and all that stuff. Use my energy. Beat her, and all that. And she does. There we go. Lights come on. Ah! And she uses her own willpower to defeat the spirit that's possessing her. And everything's nice. Look, and there we see, look, the happy families, because love conquers all, and all that crap. And that's it. That's the end. She's won. There we go. Everything's lovely now. They've beaten Bathsheba. Has she gone, or is she still lurking, ready to pounce again? Don't know. Don't tell us. They've won. And as she comes out, we see that she's all these bruises, but then they start disappearing. Look, like magic. All the bruises have gone. And she's holding, "I love you so much, I would never hurt you," unless I'm possessed by a demon, obviously. But anyway, look, it's all nice. And oh, right, there we go. It says, "A draft do that to your face," calling back earlier on to the conversation they had. So that, because he's a cop, you see, and he says, "I'd take a guy with a gun any day over dealing with paranormal phenomena." Phenomena. Anyway, so they're all happy now, and she gives April gives, because remember, down in the cellar, the locket got ripped off Lorraine's neck, and now April's obviously found it. She gives her it back. So there we go. She's going to show us. There we go. It's the locket. Look, there we go. So she's got that back now. They're all happy, and they're kind of living in the house for another 10 years, apparently. Anyway, so they go home, and he's going to put there because he's got the. So I don't know why he's got this. Is it a souvenir? He's got the little thing with raw. I don't know. Is it possessed or cursed or what? I don't know. Have they made all Bathsheba and Rory and all the woman that killed her kid, that killed Rory? Have they all gone into that musical box and they're keeping them in their museum now? I don't know. I think he's just stolen it for a souvenir myself. So he's putting that in there, and then we get a little clue as to what's happening next. Although it doesn't happen next. The priest has phoned up. I think we hear the phone ring when they get home. Or she says, "I'm going to phone up Father What's-His-Face." And she mentions, where is it? The Vatican approved the exorcism. And then she says, "He'd like to meet with us tomorrow. There we go. There's a case in Long Island he'd like to discuss." Which I'm guessing is the Amityville case, but that didn't happen in 1971. That happened, 1974, 75, something like that, wasn't it? I mean, when Ronnie DeFeo sorted out his family, and then the Lutzes moved in a year later, didn't they? So maybe it's a different case, but I think they are referring to Amityville, even though that hadn't happened yet. But never mind. So then, there we go. Quote from Ed Warren: "Diabolical forces are formidable. These forces are eternal." For some reason, I'm thinking of Sapphire and Steel as I'm reading this. "And they exist today. The fairy tale is true. The devil exists. God exists. And for us as people, our very destiny hinges upon which one we elect to follow." Ed Warren. Very deep. And then we're going to see the... it started playing by itself as the musical box with the little mirror thing rotating. It's just struck me now actually as this. In the IMDb thing, it says this is the first film by James Wan not to feature. I forgot the name of it now. The puppet thing from the Saw films. He always manages to put it in his films, either in the background or in a drawing or something like that. But it hasn't featured the little puppet thing from the Saw films. But it could be argued that this is, because it's a spiral, isn't it? It's the spiral. Billy, that's it. Yes, thank you, Winry. But this could be it, couldn't it? Because he had like a spiral thing, didn't he? Going did Billy. So this could be it. But anyway, it's playing by itself as the musical box, but we're not going to see anything. I thought we were going to see Annabelle or Valak the nun, but we don't. We don't actually see Valak until the second film. Yeah, it's there we go. A fake jump scare because nothing happens, and then the film ends, and then we get some photos of the real Perron family. There they are, and the real Warrens don't look very happy in these photos, do they? Miserable buggers. But yeah, there we go. And then over the credits we see like photos and news clippings, and there we go. Ron Livingston played Roger Perron, and Lily Taylor played Caroline, and there we go. Anyway, so yeah, even though it's not the real Annabelle doll, but never mind. So these actual pictures from the Perron case, then I have no idea. But there we go. Family Theme by Mark Isham and Isham. That's it. I think Joseph. I forgot his bloody name now. Bishara. His music, it's more atmospheric noises in it than actual music. It's just like boo, boo, ah, that sort of stuff in it. Anyway, and he did portray. Does it show? Where is it? There we go. Bathsheba Joseph Bishara. He played the lipstick-faced demon in Insidious. But there we go. Yes, there we go. That's the end of The Conjuring, the film that launched a universe. And as I said, I'm not a huge fan of this film. I think it's too long. Some nice creepy bits in it, but I think some of the other films are better than this one. I think the second one is better than this, even though it's complete garbage and rubbish. 'Cause the second one tells the alleged story of the Enfield poltergeist, and it's nothing at all like the real story. So I'm guessing that this film's similar, that this is nothing like the Perron case. Although in the behind the scenes, the actual people that were involved, the Perron family say, "Oh, the film is going to be just like what happened to us." I bet they weren't saying that afterwards. But anyway, so there we go. That's the end of The Conjuring. It's okay. I don't hate it or anything like that. I'm just not a huge fan of it. I think it's okay. And it's got some good bits in it. But it's not a film I'll be rushing out to watch again. As I said, I think the second one's better. And I think the Annabelle films are better. I'm one of these weird people that really likes, particularly the first one. A lot of people didn't like the first Annabelle film, but I really did. I think the first Annabelle film is miles better than this. But that's just me. Anyway, so there we go. So that's that. You can watch it on YouTube and wherever else. I can't remember. Let me check. I've got it in the description. Let me check my description. Just bear with me while I fire it up. You might hear my voice in a minute before I hit mute. There we go. There's a description. You can watch it you can rent or buy on Amazon Prime, both in America and the UK. You can rent or buy it on YouTube in America and over here as well. And I'm sure it's on other places as well, maybe Apple and all them places like that. I don't know. It might be. Who knows? But speaking of films that you can watch on YouTube for free, I just stumbled across Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock. At least in the UK, it's completely free on YouTube. The official YouTube movie part. It just came up in my recommendations. It said free. So if you want to watch that, go and watch it now. My nose is tickling. We're going to have an argument. Right, so we'll leave it there. That's all done and dusted. I suppose I'll have to do The Conjuring 2 at some point, won't I? Shall we just work our way through for spooky season? So we just work our way through the Conjuring films for the next 3 weeks. Conjuring 2, Conjuring The Devil Made Me Do It. Yeah. So we do them. Yeah, sod it. Yeah, that's what we'll do. So next week we'll be doing The Conjuring 2. Yeah, that's that sorted. So we'll leave it there. Yes, and this counted as my C, because I'm doing an A to Z for Halloween. I usually do it, not every year, but most years. I do an A to Z of Halloween. Sometimes I watch the same film, for that letter. But I do try to find new things. I've been looking on Amazon, Shudder, for stuff that I haven't seen. But I'm up to C, because it's the 3rd of October, and that just coincided with The Conjuring, so that counted as my C. My A was Amityville Apartment, which was absolute rubbish. It was terrible, awful film. And then the second one was Bloodbath at the House of Death, which again were rubbish, but it was fun. It was like a carry-on film. It was like carry-on horror. It was terrible. From the 80s. Like Kenny Everett in it, and Vincent Price hamming it up. And Pamela Stevenson gets her boobs out in it, which is a good thing. But yeah, that's on Prime Video. Over here it is anyway. Right. So we'll leave it there. We'll leave it there for this week. Like I said, next week we'll do The Conjuring 2. Sod it. And then the week after that we'll do the next one after that, The Conjuring. We'll just do the Conjuring films and get them out of the way, seeing as it's October. Right, so what's coming up next? On Monday, for Magnificent Mondays, through spooky season, through October, I'm going to try and do spooky films that aren't necessarily horror films. So, and on Monday we're doing Ghostbusters 2, because we've already done the first Ghostbusters. So we'll do Ghostbusters. I think we actually did the first Ghostbusters last Halloween, I think. Or maybe the one before, can't remember. No, it must have been last Halloween. So we're doing Ghostbusters 2, which is really good. I like that. Right. We'll leave it there. So thanks, Wingrace and Adam Gamer. Not anybody else pop in. And all the idiots who have nothing better to do. But yeah, right. I better check on Rumble and make sure. Oh, hang on, I got rid of my bookmarks. Oh dear, where have I put them? Make sure nobody's dropped out in the chat over on Rumble. No, they haven't. Very rarely they do. Did I miss anything, by the way, in the Conjuring trivia? Before we go, let's have a quick look. The production team also built a 50-foot tall tree for the film. I'm guessing that's the one by the lake. I can't be bothered. Ghost Beaters. Was that the original title for Ghostbusters? I can't remember. I know they had trouble, didn't they, with the Ghostbusters name. Because they were that cartoon, weren't they? In the 70s, or 60s or 70s or whatever, weren't they? Anyway, that's by the by. Right, so we'll leave it there. So, thanks for watching, wherever you are. Don't have nightmares. Look after each other. Hang on, where are we? Look after each other, and until next time, I'll see thee.